everyone, welcome to my January 25th League of Legends DFS slate breakdown. Again, we only have a 2-gamer for LPL, and then we only need to recap 2 games. So at the end of this video, I'll probably create a timestamp if I remember for it. So I'm going to update my spring tier list and try to go through the league a little bit as a whole, as like a kind of a break point in the season. Try to get a little bit more breakdown on that. So this might be a little bit longer of a video, but if I remember, I'll try to do timestamps for you guys so you guys can watch only what you want to. But last night we had LGD get the upset over OMG. I'll go to the scoreboard section to get a little bit more breakdown on it. This would be week 2, day 3. Nope, I just have no idea where I'm at. All right, here we go. It's first day of week 3. So, if you guys remember yesterday, I had the hot take of LGD underdog at plus 3 something, 330, 340-ish, something like that. And LGD got the job done. They got the 2-1 upset. So I love that. There's no better feeling, I think, within this industry of calling a decent sized upset like that. I think something that people kind of forget, in kind of like the esports DFS scene, or pretty much in esports altogether sometimes, is how volatile it is. So sometimes you need to play within that volatility. That was something that I was talking about yesterday when talking about this series, is that, yeah, OMG are better. They probably win this series like 7 out of 10 times, 6 out of 10 times, something like that. But sometimes you just need to gather all the information and look at, maybe this is one of those times where the 30% outcome happens and LGD do get the upset. It's hard to predict that, obviously. If anyone can predict these upsets, and then, they'd just be raking in money. It's obviously not possible to predict that all the time. But it's important to gauge things within a scope. And that's why I like tier lists so much as opposed to like rankings. Because when I construct tier lists, I like to think the top team in this tier can lose to the bottom team in this tier, but everybody in this tier should beat the team in the tier below them. And that's how I like to construct it. We'll talk about that when we get to that section. But I think it's important to realize that LGD have been bad and OMG have beat up some bad teams, that these two teams aren't that far apart. And that's something we saw last night when LGD managed to get this upset. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capitalize on it that well because we get to the BLG 2-0 of Rare Atom. This was an ADC gap for the ages. Man, oh man, did Doggo make iBoy look silly. This is something where I'm going to take responsibility and say this was a pretty bad call on my end. I've been kind of tooting my own horn a lot the last few episodes. Because I feel like I've been giving out some good predictions and saying, like, this series is going to be close, and then it ends up in a 2-1. And I'll, give out some underdogs, and I feel like I've been doing pretty well. Looking at things, I keep my scoreboard in my description up to date with odds as well, because it's one thing to say, I have a 40-10 record, but when I just pick minus 1,000 underdogs every night, of course it's going to be inflated. But I actually have I have a good record when you look at like slight favorites, slight underdogs, and that sort of thing. I have a pretty good record in that, I think. And so it's important to recognize, when trying to be objective about your opinions and recognizing when you make good decisions and say, like, this series will be close, and then it is close. Maybe the series doesn't go your way, but if it's close, then you had a good read on that series, and some things didn't go your way. This is one where I will admit I got this wrong. I got this very wrong. I was pretty wrong about this RE. Maybe that's a little exaggerative to say I was wrong about this RE team, because they still are looking pretty good. But I think this is pretty disappointing of myself to miss out on how big of an ADC gap between Doggo and iBoy there was, especially when you swap out your support after like looking decent with Zora, and then you go to Yuyanja. I don't know. This one just looked pretty bad, if I'm honest. Um, I do like BLG and I like Rare Atom, but this was just a bad call, I think. Not seeing how bad iBoy's been playing, which has been really bad. I believe, again, like somebody said in the comments last video, like iBoy was like 0-4, 0-7, and 0-4, like in all three of the last games or something. And then he just comes in and looks absolutely terrible. I think if Rare Atom go back to Zora and then get any other ADC, they'll be in a better place. I think iBoy has looked so bad for them. I still think they're going to beat up on lower teams despite iBoy's play, just because like Cube, Leon, Strive have looked good themselves, especially Leon. But the gap in the ADC here was just too much. I feel like I really should have seen this. This is one where you look back in hindsight and think, man, how did I not see Doggo versus iBoy and Chris versus Yanja and just think, man, this is a huge bottom lane gap. And of course, I did say this was probably going to be a close series, and it maybe could have been still, but the first series, Doggo just got 2 giga-fed on the Aphelios, made iBoy look like a complete clown, and then the second game was kind of more of the same, except it was a little bit closer in a slower pace game. So, I mean, I'll take credit, or I'll take credit when I, get things right and call correct underdogs like I did in the LGD series, and then I'll take responsibility for when I give bad opinions on these games as well. I think I misjudged the strength of these two teams and gave Rare Atom a little bit too much credit, and especially when you look at the bottom lanes. So that's where I was really wrong yesterday. I'll take credit. I'll own up to that and admit that you this was a bad opinion no matter how you twist and shake it. Looking forward to tonight's slate. We actually have a pretty good 2-gamer, which is something you rarely get to say. And the first series is Invictus Gaming Ultra Prime and Thunder Talk Anyone's Legend. So we have a battle of probably 2 of the bottom 6 teams, or 4 of the bottom 6 teams in all things considered for all these teams, which normally is something where you're like, man, didn't want to see that, but I like watching low end LPL. I don't know, like they still can throw down, they still have good moments and stuff. So I'm not opposed to this by any means, and they're not too widely priced, I'd imagine. We'll get to that section here, like right now. So we look at IG history. They got 2-0'd by RNG, 2-0'd by LNG, 2-0'd by OMG, and then they beat Thunder Talk 2-0. So they're yet to play game 3, but they played RNG, who was like one of the best teams in the league, LNG, one of the best teams in the league, OMG slightly above them, and then Thunder Talk, who, despite me picking them, has like yet to win ever. But we'll talk about them in the second series. Then we have Ultra Prime, who 2-1 to LGD. They took a game off of EDG, took a game off of Top, and then got 2-0'd by LNG. So it's a little hard to make up. Like when you do look at these, you probably think pretty similar skill levels. But then you consider IG. Oh, it'll be this one. They're bringing in Zika. Yeah, not the mid laner from what team does he play for? I don't remember. And at this point, BLG maybe? No, that's Fofo. I think he's in the LCK now, but not that Zika. We have the top laner coming in. I don't even think he's on. He's not even on their roster on here. So we'll see if we can bring him up this way. Is he on this? Yeah, he is. So he doesn't even have a page on here. So that's a little problematic. Let me, I think I remember seeing some information on him on Twitter. So let me pull that up quickly. Sorry for being a little bit unprepared, but I was not expecting him to not have a page on this the wiki that I use. Let me see. Zika, League of Legends. So he was previously known as Zaza. Let's see if that. Oh, Daniil. There we go. This is his match page actually. He just name swapped to. He's renamed from Zika or from Zaza to Daniil, and then from Daniil to Zika. So this is his match page. You see, he played for SDX, which is a lower end LDL team. In LDL 2021 summer, I believe. Let me check how well they did. SDX. So they were okay in the LDL. But then I guess this is way too long-winded of a point to say that he is not going to be Nenny. Nenny has been pretty good and like one of their only like outs, I guess you could say, in terms of winning so far. I feel like it's been Nenny and Chun, and then like being stuck in Elo Hell with Yuakai, Zhao Yueji, and Lucas. Now they're getting rid of Nenny to bring in Shun. Hopefully this is just like Nenny is feeling ill or something, and it's not like they're looking to replace Nenny, because he's been like their only good player. But this is a lot of problems for me for IG, and I know you guys have heard me say that I like this Ultra Prime team going forward. I like all these players, like ZS and Hacker can maybe a little bit better. I feel like Crying got the short end of the stick, and then Elk and Xiaoxi have been pretty dominant. So I like Ultra Prime. I like Ultra Prime a good bit here. The swap of their like arguably best player on IG side concerns me a good amount. So I'll go with Ultra Prime like 230. I mean, these teams are still in the same realm, so I don't want to get too crazy, but that's where I'll go for that. And I definitely want to talk a lot about this next one. Thunder Talk, Anyone's Legend. So I have been an Anyone's Legend simp for so long. You guys have heard me. I've picked Anyone's Legend against everybody except for RNG. They've gone through once. They are a 1-4 team now, I believe. 1-5. They're 1-4. They're going against Thunder Talk, who is 0-5. And we look at who they've played. Thunder Talk lost to Weibo. They've lost to RNG. They lost to EDG. They lost to IG. They lost to OMG. So 3 of those, the Weibo, RNG, and EDG losses, those are good teams. Losing to OMG and IG, those are teams that aren't that crazy, but losing is still losing. And then we go to the Anyone's Legend side. They lost to Weibo, lost to RNG, lost to FPX, and then they lost to OMG, and then they beat LGD. So they have like the exact same match history. They've both lost to 3 good teams, then they both lost to OMG, and they both beaten bad teams. Or I guess Thunder Talk haven't even beaten anyone. They've just lost everyone. But Anyone's Legend at least beat LGD. And I mean, look, it's going to be a tough sell on Anyone's Legend at this point. And I do always preface this with saying I am an Anyone's Legend fan. I'm a fan of this team. I'm a fan of these players. I'm going to have some built-in bias when trying to analyze this team. I give them a lot more passes than I should, and maybe I still view them in a different light as I should overall as well. The reason I say this is because, I'm going to pick Anyone's Legend here. I'm not going to pick them as a favorite, that's for sure. But I'm going to give them some respect here. I'll say Thunder Talk plus or minus 150. You guys know my opinion on Thunder Talk. I actually think this team is not that bad, and they actually have a decent ability to be able to play through the bottom lane of Puff and Southwind. But, I mean, Anyone's Legend, they're always live. I said that last time, and I still a little bit believe that. Their playstyle concerned me last series against Weibo. That's for sure. But I mean, when you take a game off of RNG, and they did beat LGD, so they've beaten other bad teams. And like I know Thunder Talk have been decent. Like they took a game off of Weibo. That's the last time we saw them. I don't know. It's just a little too much of a tough sell for me. What? Sorry, I'm just in utter shock. How is anyone's Legend a minus 325 favorite? I mean, wow, I got this Ultra Prime line like perfect. But what on earth? I'm sorry, what? What? How is an anyone's Legend team minus 325? Did they not see them last series? What? Is that like a misprice or something? No, they're the biggest favorite. What? Huh? This is unbelievable. Like I'm as an anyone Legend fan, I like borderline talked myself into giving like this much credit. I almost made Thunder Talk like a minus 200. Like that's how much I've been disappointed with the AL this season. I mean, I cannot believe this. This is an utter shock. I was expecting like Thunder Talk minus 200. If I was predicting lines, not making my own lines, if I was predicting lines, I would have said Thunder Talk minus 200. Like anyone's Legend have looked bad, so has they both have. This is like probably like a coin flip either way, but minus 325, that is utterly absurd. I am sorry, but like anyone's Legend looked completely and utterly lifeless in the last series, and Thunder Talk just like I know they've won once. They have one map, 10 defeats in map count. Anyone's Legend are 3-9, so it's still not like a big gap. These are two really bad teams, so I feel like either way this should be pretty evenly priced. But I mean, AL looked lifeless. Maybe it's the fact they were like winning fights, I guess, against Weibo. Man, that is tough. That is tough. So I guess this pains me to say, but I guess that kind of builds my lineup for the night. Like, I'm sorry, how is anyone's Legend a favorite here? Man, that line is weird. I think you just take the underdog dog. Like, this is what I've been saying for weeks, but you just bet the underdog in the AL series and you're probably winning money like long term. And I think that's what I'm doing tonight. A quick rundown, a quick picks thing. I'll go Ultra Prime 2-0. That IG top laner swap concerns me a little too much, and Ultra Prime will look decent. Then I'll go Thunder Talk 2-1. I think this is close either way. But anyone's Legend macro has looked so incredibly bad, like laughably like LCS Academy bad, and like Thunder Talk haven't looked that bad. Like how are they that much of a favorite? Man, that is crazy. I mean, this is a lot like last night where the OMG line was like crazy to me. I just cannot see anyone's Legend being this much of a favorite against pretty much anyone. Although they've had like good moments and they've all that stuff, like the fact that they were up 9 kills to 1, up 3 dragons to none, but they were still down in gold shows just how bad they are. Man, this is a really weird price. I mean, this is going to pain me to say, but I think the Thunder Talk side is a much better side here. I love anyone's Legend as an underdog, but as a favorite, no, thank you. I will not be a part of that. Looking at the combined kills per minute here, Ultra Prime, anyone's Legend, Thunder Talk, IG lowest. So we'll check wins. Who's getting the kills in the wins? Looks like Thunder Talk in their only win played a really slow game, so that's not good. Same with IG. Looks like Ultra Prime and anyone's Legend get a battle there. Let's see who dies the most in losses. That'll be Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime gives up the most in losses. Anyone's Legend second, and then Thunder Talk. So it looks like IG is probably the slower side in for the most part. Man, that's a little tough. when you have this is like a perfectly sandwiched, like first playing fourth, second playing third, like this. I don't know the averages, but I'd imagine these both average out to like 0.8. It looks like the IG Ultra Prime series is a little bit lower. But let's see. In losses, let me look again. Looks like anyone Legends dies the most in losses. I mean, I'd have to favor the Thunder Talk Anyone's Legend one. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to look at. The scoreboard yesterday. I believe I said... Yeah, I said you should bet the unders at 28.5 in BLG and it looked like it hit both times, so that's good. I mean, I'm glad maybe you guys tailed that. I personally didn't. I'm still not accustomed really to looking at these like over-unders. Thunder Talk Anyone's Legend is lower. I don't know. I think maybe the overs on that aren't that crazy. This seems about right, but it's not that weirdly priced. Whew. Man, I wanted to speedrun this section so I could do the tier list thing, but man, this is utterly shocking to me. So yeah, I mean that kind of speaks for itself. That's where I'm going tonight. I think Thunder Talk. I don't understand how Anyone's Legend is the favorite here. Like, they've looked so bad. Man, I'm gonna need a refresher on these Thunder Talk like matches. I mean, that's a lot of red. There's not ideal, but yeah, these are bad losses. Man, they've gotten stomped by bad teams even. Man, I guess this price isn't that crazy, but man, I was not expecting Anyone's Legend favorite. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I'll get to the AL side just because I'm a fan and want to watch them win anyway. And they have been fighting well, and maybe Thunder Talk will be the partner to dance with in that aspect, but that is surprising. I guess we could check like players. LPL Spring. We'll go like we'll go Thunder Talk, Ultra Prime, Anyone's Legend, because I'm Xing out in IG myself. So kill share, it's through Elk. Man, that 45% kill share through 11 games is utterly insane. Betty, Puff. Let me check overall kill participation. Southwind is up there. Puff. Yeah, so if Thunder Talk win, it's going to be through bot. I think we kind of known that the whole time. And, I mean, they have not done much winning. That's for sure. I said, what were they? They won one map, right? Yeah, they got one off of Weibo. I mean, man, that is a tough scene. This will be a tough slate. It'll be close. I mean, I think if people are going to play Chalk AL, like, I don't know. I'm not an ownership guy. I really don't know. I don't have good guesses on that stuff. If people are going to be like on the Thunder Talk underdog side, then I'll play like a jungle captain Anyone's Legend. But if people are going to be on the Anyone's Legend favoritism, then I'll go Thunder Talk, no problem. It's really, I'm pairing one of these two teams up with Ultra Prime. I'm not getting to this Ultra Prime side or to the IG side no matter what. But that's how probably I'm going to like look at this one tonight. Man, I'm still just in utter shock at this one. I think this pains me because if it was like any other team names, if these teams had no name, then I would be on the Thunder Talk side, like no problem, because you know I want to practice what I preach and like making your own lines and going based off of that. But when you do consider like Anyone's Legend outfought Weibo, they were up in kills, like they kind of tossed that game, and Weibo's gonna be a lot better than Thunder Talk. Like I get the price. Like I understand that Anyone's Legend being the favorite here, but you kind of have to view this in the same lens that I had on the OMG series last night, which was like these two teams are in the same realm still. Anyone's Legend have proven to toss games no problem. Like, I feel like this could be the Thunder Talk win. I don't know. This is going to be a tough internal decision. I'll probably have to mull over tonight. I think this one probably goes 3. I think this is a really close series either way. Like, if you want to be on the AL side, you can. If you want to be on the Thunder Talk side, I think you should. But I'm personally Xing out IG. I don't see the path really there. I think Ultra Prime have been pretty decent. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't like to leave you guys without a pick there, but I'm so incredibly torn on this one. I should go Thunder Talk, but I want to go Anyone's Legend. It's like my brain's telling me Thunder Talk, my heart's telling me AL. That's probably just going to be it for me. I'll go Ultra Prime 2-0. I'll go Anyone's Legend 2-1, but I mean, I'm not sure what's out I'll be on this one. This is one where you guys are probably going to have to take a lean. I don't know. Again, I should go Thunder Talk. I think this crazy line, but I'll have to like talk to somebody and see what the ownership is looking like on this one. That's going to be it for that section. I'm going to get into breaking down tier list of the league. This is just going to be like a little midpoint filler because we only have like 2 gamers. So I want to put this out. I think when you look at elite teams, I think EDG still up there. RNG still up there, although they've been shaky. They're probably at the bottom part. I still want to put BLG at the bottom part of S, although they could be top of A. I'll put them there for now. I don't think they've played anyone great. LNG have looked pretty strong. I'll put them there in the second spot. I'll put FEX top of A. I still think there's a little bit of unprovenness there. I'll put V5 in the middle of A. I think I'll put Weibo in the A as well. Although I'm not a big proponent of this team, it's kind of hard to ignore their skill level, I think. Heading on to the B tier, I'll probably put RA here. I think this is like a JDG tier. I'll put top at the top here as well. This sounds about right. Then I'm looking at these teams down here. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll put OMG at the top of C tier. I mean, when you have a player like Cream, they haven't been ideal, but I think they're better than all the rest of these teams. That's for sure. I mean, you could almost make a case that OMG is in this tier alone, and then the rest of these teams are in D. I'll put Ultra Prime in C. I think they've proven a little bit more to me there, and then I think the rest of these teams are D. I think maybe they'll go order them a little bit better like this. I'll put them like that. I think Anyone's Legend maybe is the best of these teams. IG, man, it just looked pretty abysmal so far. LGT, although they've shown some fight and they just beat OMG, I mean, it seems like it's just a anomaly kind of, they haven't really beaten much. So maybe you could put them I'll put them here just because I'll put them there just because they beat OMG. But I mean, you're looking at these are pretty bad. I think this is a pretty fair ranking of these teams. Again, this is something I'll try to update as we go. But I think this seems about right for now. I think the way I use tier rankings is I think all the S tier teams should beat the A tier teams. All the A tier teams should beat the B tier teams, and so on. Then obviously if there's a bigger gap, then it'll be a huge gap. I know I've picked Anyone's Legend to be FPX. I know. But that's just kind of the nature of those teams. I don't think you guys are going to ever see me picking IG or WE that often. I don't think I'm ever going to have a WE ticket this year. But that's how things go. this will be. I thought there was going to be more to talk about. There really isn't. Like, it's kind of obvious where these team skills are. You could argue that V5 is like top of A, but there's still a little bit of unprovenness there as well. I think FPX have proven a little bit more. Like, although I think V5 have a higher chance to like win playoffs, for example, I don't think they've necessarily been playing better than FPX. You could maybe make a case for Rare Atom to be an A. But again, there's just a little bit too much unprovenness there. I could almost make a case to move top down to C. I think they've looked really bad, like really bad actually. But I'll give him like a little bit benefit of the doubt when you have like Knight. He's just too good. Like the players are better than they are, so maybe they'll pick it up. But yeah, that's gonna be that's I'll probably leave that for now as the update. If you guys, I will compare it to. Yes, to see, I'll just have Tyler one up on the other monitor over there, but yeah, this is comparing the rankings. This is what I had before, so the same 4 teams, just in a slightly different order. This is my preseason ranking. Sorry for being confusing there. We had top moved down. They looked bad. We've had FPX moved up. They look better. We had the same C tier, which I actually didn't expect. We had IG move fall down. I thought they were going to be a lot better. Their players weren't that bad. I didn't think, but this is a pretty bad one. I like that IG had like a decent amount, but they looked really bad. We have the same C tier, same 4 teams in the D tier. So overall, things haven't really changed that much. A lot of things like that we anticipated are about the same, but you know, it's nice to update these things as we look forward. So yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight. I'm not sure if there's a 2-gamer or more tomorrow. I know the Chinese New Year break is coming up soon, so that'll be pretty sad. But then we get a good amount of LPL like chain to take together after that. So that'll be it for me tonight. Good luck for you. Good luck tonight as well. I know this is going to be a tough one, and a tough 2-gamer is pretty good, you know, all things considered. So, yep, I will see you guys tomorrow.